going to simplify fractions, and you've already seen how to simplify fractions, maybe previously with our other friend. And he simplified fractions here using the candy bar. And he split up that candy bar into a bunch of different parts. And he started with this fraction 48/64. So I'm going to show you that you can simplify fractions to their lowest terms using a multiplication table. So let's start with that fraction that our friend started with before. That was 48/64. And we know that 48/64 can be simplified to another fraction. So let's come over here to our multiplication table. This is just a regular multiplication table. And we're going to see if we can find this 48 in our numerator and this 64 in our denominator in one of our columns going up and down. Okay, so we're going to look up and down, and as we do, we're going to see if we see the numbers 48 and 64. Oh, look, there's a 48. Here's our 48. Now we have to see if we have a 64. Well, there's a 54, but I don't see a 64. So let's keep going. No, there's nothing in that column. Let's go down our 8s. Oh, there's a 48 right here. And, oh, and there's a 64. So what this means is that our 8 is a common multiple of both 48 and 64. So how does this help us see what the fraction is in simplest form? Well, can we say that 6 times 8 is 48? We sure can. Can we say that 8 times 8 is 64? We sure can. So our simplified fraction will be 6 over 8. Now, 6 over 8, 6/8 can be simplified further. So let's go to our 2's column. Our 2's column, we should see a 6 and an 8. Yep, there's our 6. And there's our 8 right there. So we know that 2 is a common multiple of both 6 and 8. So let's just find out what those multiples are. Well, we know that 3 times 2 equals 6. So 6/8 is going to equal 3 over, and we can say that 4 times 2 equals 8, 3/4. And 3/4 is the lowest form of the fraction that we can simplify it to. Now, some people might say, well, what about 1? I see 6 and 8 in 1. You see 6 and 8 in 1? Well, there's a rule, and that rule is you can't use your 1's column. Okay? So, don't look at your 1's column. That's going to be unacceptable. You cannot use that column. Okay? So you can use everything else except your 1's column to find common multiples of your numerator and denominator. Let's try one more. We'll try, how about 25/40ths? Let's try 25/40ths. Now 25/40ths will equal a fraction that we can simplify into lowest terms. I'll use green here. And let's see if we can find a 25 and a 40 in our columns. Oh, there's a 40. Was there a 25? I don't see a 25. So let's go. There's a 40 right there. And look, there's a 25 right here. So what we're saying is that 5 is a common multiple of both 25 and 40. So what can we say? Can we say that 5 times 5 equals 25? We sure can. What about our 40? Can we say that 8 times 5 equals 40? We sure can. So that actually simplifies to 5/8. Let me just go back here and show you guys something. We're saying that 5 times 5 equals 25. We're also saying that 8 times 5 equals 40. Now this is a good way just to check to make sure it's true. You have to use both numbers here if you want to check your multiplication. Let's go back here. 3 times what equals 6? 3 times 2 equals 6. So that must mean that 4 times 2 equals 8, right? 6 times what equals 48? 6 times 8 equals 48. So that must mean that 8 times 8 equals 64. So that means we're right. If you would like to use this strategy using the multiplication table, I encourage you to use that strategy. If you have another strategy that helps you get the right answer to simplify fractions, use that one too. This is just another way that you can help yourself simplify fractions.